have to have a wrench on it.
Okay, so what's going on here? This is some old footage I had from, I think, last winter, maybe. I'm digging up some old stuff while we're up there at the top secret place where we're working. And I have been digging up some old stuff here and there. But what this was a job where Derek could cut a little and I'd cut a little. And we come together at the end, and I got done and I'd pulled out, and then Derek and Stevie was still finishing up. So me and Raji and Junkie, the weather's coming. So me and Raji and Junkie jumped together and we're pulling some of my trees, but mostly pulling Derek and Stevie's trees. And we're trying to get this area all pulled up. We're kind of making a mess up by the yard, but the ground's soft, rain's coming, not looking good. So we're trying to hurry up and forward everything up to the yard. The skids is short, and then of course a lot of you be watching this, a lot of good loggers be watching this and going, you know, well, why ain't you got a bigger skidder, you know, blah blah yada yada. But look how, one thing I would like somebody that's in the know that you know that this don't look right. You know, we got too many people clustered up. I would like for you to bear in mind, I'd spent most of the day cutting. And this is a short, I think I jumped on this skidder for an hour on the big skidder. And before this, it must have been Raji and Junkie in ground soft. Our skidders are light because of our soil conditions. And what I'm driving is our heaviest skidder. It's a 648 dual arch, but the weight's not quite right, so it's kind of jacked down in the butt. The nose is light. Skidder ain't balanced very well. Them old G3s wasn't balanced well as a dual arch skidder. They started correcting them in the H's. You could put fluid in the front tires. We done that on the 30.5 tires, but these are the 44s. The 30.5 tires, the summer tires we put on this thing, it does pretty good because we got fluid in the front of them. And some people would do a wide blade, the extra wide blade hanging out over the snout. That helps. And I think the H's, they went to a longer chassis, and that helped. But the G3s was just an unbalanced machine as a dual arch. Now, that being said, if you got them in a single arch variant, the balance was way better. And there was a light skidder. You could stay on on top of the ground better. And we really like them. But that's why we run these little single arches, because we're doing a lot with nowadays we're doing a lot with tiny. When you got to really move a lot of wood forward, we'll just load up tiny moving forward. But in these short skids like we're in right here, it's just stay light, keep the cycles going. We got a pretty good pile of poplar going there. We just start throwing trees everywhere. We got a wide clear cut type of cut up close to the yard, so it ain't hurting much in this little wide area. But we're trying to, if you see what we're doing, we got rain coming in, we're going to be rained out. So we're trying to shove all the wood up close to the yard as we can, to where after the rain, you're not backing in and slopping up much ground at all to get the wood up there, if you see what I mean. So all the stuff way down the woods and stuff, we'll have all our finished work done, all our BMPs done, and then, wait till after the rain, get the rest of this wood out. Basically, run out of day is what happened. But we really like our little light skidders, we think, and using tiny to forward the weight up when it becomes necessary. When a skid becomes long and the hammering becomes consistent and steady and looks like we need some big deal to go with, that we use tiny for that situation. It works out great. And then you only got one guy on the skid row then, see? And all of us, where we're all split up like a pack of spazzes, we're back there where we all got room. One skidder will be pulling off one cutter, the other skidder will be pulling off the other cutter, and we're kind of just centralizing to Stevie there, Or I can lay my trees out with Brutus. I could cut ahead with Brutus, see, and lay all my trees out and just leave them lay in bundles, slop topped and ready to go to Stevie. Why, Derek over there, he's got the rubber tired cutter. when he's running anymore. And a lot of times he needs a skidder or two right on him to where they can pull the trees up, jock him around. They could help get him out at times. Where me, I don't need much help. I could cut my trees and leave them lay while the main activity's working Derek's trees. And then when that's all done, me and Derek could be in trucks or skidders or whatever later while everybody catches back up to finish off the weather pattern. In our state, in our area that we log in, the northern part of the state's probably different. But in our area in the wintertime, and this is older footage, but it was it'd been close to this time of year probably. It'd probably be, I don't know, it'd be after November, before Christmas probably. But in that time, all through the winter, it's all about getting in there quick, knocking out an area, getting your wood moved, and getting your BMPs done, which is called, abbreviation for best management practices. You got to get which is basically water control and erosion control. That's what BMP is. It's all about erosion control. So the key is in our area to jump in, get the wood out, get the soil put back, and get the water diversions and your streams and everything fixed to where you're not dumping dirty water down a stream. You got to keep all that stuff took care of. But you get all that done before the next weather pattern gets. So you get a clean weather pattern, rain stops, surface water runs down a little bit, bam, everybody jumps out there, lickety split, bam, boom, bang, knocks their stuff out, and then get back off of it. Get the finished work done before the next weather pattern hits. So then you're ready. Now what you see me do there is I bunched up a drag for Roger and Junkie and them. So how we do, you see me, I got some pine. I got some white pine. They're lighter trees. And I can take more stems but have a lighter drag with this big skidder. We call it the big skidder, but it's small compared to what a lot of people use probably. But what we do with it, because the weight's unbalanced a bit on the 648 G3, is and I'm shoving this back to load up some more pecker poles, But we're using this skidder to move, like if Stevie cuts the forks out, the top end of the tree, or light tree like these pines, and some smaller, because this got into a little bit of it wasn't really a clear cut, but it's a hard cut in this little section you see Stevie back here working in. And I can bundle up and take a bunch of little light junk up to the yard without destroying the ground. And then Roger and Junkie, they got better balanced skidders than little single arches that's real light in the rear end. And they can grab, so I'm packing around a lot more metal than they are. So I'm getting lighter drags with more stems to balance out the, to make the balance, I guess, with each of us out there. So here I am with a wad of junk, basically. It's all tiny stuff. So I'm sorting through there. Stevie ain't got time because we're all getting on his butt, and he sees us coming. Because 2-3 skidders is just this close to the yard, just a little too much for anybody. And Junkyard cut over the hill to get some of my trees. I had some of my trees. I clean topped mine on this section, I think. It's been a while, but I think I did. So Junkie was grabbing my trees down in there, and I'm grabbing trees that Derek had cut and Stevie had to clean up with the din. But see, like that drag here on my right, that's a big drag. I'm probably going to it's heavier trees. So I'm probably going to let Raji and them skid them out with the single arch skidders because they better balanced. And the skidders are lighter overall. And see, this skidder's running tire-wise. Of course, I got the 14,000 axles on it. It's got the longer frame. It's got the 4472 tires on it, so the tires weigh more. The dual arch back there weighs more, and it sticks out the back of the skidder farther, so it's screwing up the weight balance a bit. Whereas Roger and Junkie skidders, they got 43s sitting on 26-inch wheels. And they're like 66 inches tall. They're a lot lighter tires. They look the same at a glance, but Roger and Junkie skidders got the kind of tires that Tiny's got, whereas this skidder's got the kind of tires that pretty much on a skidder. That's all I ever see him on. Roger and Junkie's tires, you see that profile tire on monster trucks, That's what monster trucks run. Tiny's got the metric version of them. But Tiny's a radial. And Roger and Junkie, see how it looks? They're stomper tires. They look like got monster truck tires on. They're a little bit smaller wheels, where the big Skidder's got big wheels. Weighs more. It just weighs more and adds to the soil compaction. So you kind of, because you're only getting 1 more inch. They're 44-inch tires, and Roger and Junkie's is 43s. So you're only gaining 1 more inch. Well, you're like, well, why would you even fool with them? My tires have a lot better weight rating, and this dual arch Skidder tears up them 26-inch. You put 43s on 26-inch rims and put that on this Skidder, it tears up the daggone wheel tires because the tires can't handle the weight rating. Junkyard Skidder and Roger Skidder puts them with the way a Skidder operates, not the overall weight, but the way it operates carrying its load and stuff. Their Skidders really put them 26-inch wheels to a test. You can bust them. I've busted them before trying to run it on this Skidder. People say you can bend the rims. I've never experienced bent wheels. You know, we kind of run a more controlled atmosphere out here with the buncher and stuff feeding them. You know, trying to pull off the stump. Pulling off the stump's a lot harder on a Skidder than what we do. We're pulling bundles, you know, and we're staying on the main road because the swing machines, Den and Brutus, does most of the lugging and thumping. And when Junkie or somebody's pulling them, I have to put her in the wind there to get to where I ain't holding up Junkie. Broke my chain of thought. What was I saying? The swing machines out there does most of the grunt work as far as pulling them up out of the nasty holes and setting them up on better ground, so the Skidders can then back in on better ground and grab them. So they're cycle time. You know, you're not back there playing with something off a stump trying to root it around. Those of you that skid off a stump from a timber cutter know what I'm talking about. But like in Roger and Junkie's situation, when they are skidding off of, see, I did run over and get that. See that drag? I cheated because the reason I got that drag, which should have been Roger and Junkie's drag because that's a bigger poplar tree. Reason I cheated and done that because Roger had to go down, turn around, and grab a drag, and I'd just be waiting on him anyways. So I just grabbed that drag so I can get my Skidder back into motion, heading wood up to the yard, you know. But it's a lot of wood. We moved a lot of wood in a short period of time like this. It's cool having extra Skidders. It's older. Instead of one new fancy Skidder, we got multiple older Skidders, you know, so you're hitting it. It's kind of like the mentality of General Patton in World War II, you know, you're kind of hitting it. Yeah, you're not running a big fancy Tiger tank, but with the little Sherman tanks like we're running here, you can hit it with just a whole bunch of them. So anytime, so say like the evening hits and weather patterns coming, if you have enough Skidders there, somebody can come back, jump out of a semi, grab a Skidder, go get help out. If you have a Skidder break down, just jump in another one. You know, you always got a Skidder sitting there waiting on you instead of you waiting on a Skidder. You know, I love this. I don't love it when it broke down. I promise you. When it broke down, I'm sitting there wrenching on it. I'm not too proud of these old Skidders. But when we're logging and everything's up and running, and one guy extra jumps in another Skidder or something to that nature, or jumps in Tiny from parks a log truck, jumps in so we can. So your priorities is always changing when you're logging. When our type of logging, your priorities is always changing. So 1 minute, the Skidders is a weak spot. Next minute, cutters be a weak spot. Next minute, processing and loading logs be a weak spot, or trucking be a weak spot. And having this extra older equipment that you can keep an excess of to match your people. So if I get time, I can jump in anything. Robin gets time, Derek gets time, Morgan gets time, even Chris sometimes. You just jump out of one into another, and catch back up. Once you see you won the battle, jump back out and get your other rig, go back to it. It's a great. And another thing is when you operate a little bit of everything like we're doing here, and you got a good crew like we got. Anyways, I lost my recording here, so I'm jumping back on here. But when you got a good crew like we got, and everybody operates a little bit of everything, everybody tends to get in each other's stuff. get to asking each other, did anybody fix this on this machine? Did anybody fix that on that machine? No, nobody's fixed that. Or yeah, I jumped in there and fixed that. Or you liable to say, hey, somebody grab a starter for old boy's machine and bring it out there, and somebody else will done. I don't know. Slip seating, there's bads about slip seating. Don't get me wrong. When it comes to log truck, we all like to stick in our trucks. Because federally, you got to keep your truck up and all that mess, and for safety and all that mess. So I don't like slip seating log trucks, but skidders. This is the only skidder that really gets slip seated right here. The skidder I'm running. I'm trying to back these down and make another drag out of small stuff. But this is really the only skidder that gets slip seated. Roger skidders always ran by Roger. Junkyard skidders always ran by Junkyard. Tiny gets slip seated, but you just kind of, the machines that get slip seated, you just kind of keep your eyes on it. In the corner of your eye, you get in the peripheral. You keep your eyes on them, like, daggone, we've been doing this. Have we greased this? And of course, when somebody's having a bad day or something, they'll be trying to get out of the maintenance and stuff on that machine, which is bad. But usually everybody kind of takes charge of, it's like, you're never going to say, oh, well, that's so-and-so's department. No, it's all of us department. We all tend to run it. You know what I mean? It's like everybody keep your eyes peeled on it, I don't know. Everybody, a lot of people tells me, you need a mechanic. Operators need to operate, mechanics need a mechanic. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll tell you my mentality on that. If you're a mechanic, if you're an operator, and you don't keep up your machine, if you break something and you don't fix it, where's your incentive not to break your equipment? Where's your incentive to take care of your machine? When you're doing something that got a little extra bump to it, or got a little chatter to it, got some lash built up in this section, and you're thumping on that lash. If something bangs when you shift, or I don't know, you got a piece of hydraulic attachment or something, you move back and forth and you got lash in it. Who's this? If you're the guy, you're gonna have to fix that pin, you're gonna have to fix that hose, you're one, you can't point your finger at somebody else, you're gonna have to fix this son of a buck. Well, you're a lot less likely to destroy what you're running. I'm big on that, and I'm not saying I'm right, but that's how I am, and my gun's on that. If you operate something, you need to fix it if you break it. But anyways, I'll shut up. The lecture's over. Thanks everybody for watching. Leave me like, comments, let me know what's up later on.